Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Tinha? Não achei não, tive que reiniciar o jogo. Eu vi todos os cantos do mapa, era tudo igual, tipo, era só... Não tinha saída, era só... Era só indo, tá ligado? Ele falou diferente, falou, porque eu reiniciei o jogo. No caso, reiniciar o jogo era um final, então, tipo... A gente
When
chegou no
Stanley
final
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
e foi pra esquerda. A gente reiniciou o jogo e eu vou ver se eu sigo a voz dele agora.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Na real, não sei. Vou ver, eu vou tentar fazer de novo.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly
Aparentemente lá
opened
era um final
passageway.
mesmo, né? Eu acho. Mas foi o que pareceu.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Vamos de exploras, né? Exploras.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
E agora, o que eu faço? Agora eu tô preso. Ah não, agora dá pra descer de novo.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Ele fez o mesmo diálogo.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
Que isso, porra?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process. All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley. Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ele não fez diálogo nenhum agora.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and
Se fudeu, filha da puta.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you, which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Porra, ficou diferente.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Ficou diferente, hein? Muito diferente. Ó. Já temos um ponto aqui.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Ih, eu acho que eu vou voltar pro mesmo lugar que eu comecei, ó.
All
Ou
right,
não, ó.
are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Porra, é isso, velho? Que porra foi isso, mano? Que porra foi isso, velho?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Qual que era o nome da porta, Bia, que você falou? Pra ver se abria.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Aqui, ó.
Stanley decided to go up to his
aqui eu já tinha
boss's
vindo
office,
antes, ele fica
hoping,
meio
oh
puto.
no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for
Ó,
you to finish.
a gente reiniciou o jogo e ele tá com o mesmo diálogo da primeira vez ali que a gente fez isso, de que a gente
Whatever it
ficou
is you
preso
enjoy
aqui.
doing so much in this room, please take your time.
Tá vendo? Ele fez um diálogo diferente, ó. Ele tá aprendendo a lidar
Coming to a
conosco.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
O que vai acontecer se eu vier pra cá agora?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive
matar a gente de
economy,
novo?
why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of
Ele
my
acha que tá
co-workers
sonhando.
blinking mysteriously out of existence in a
Então, mas aí
single
não tem como
moment
voltar
for no
aqui.
reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered
Eu queria ver
this,
se ia
he
ficar
began to make
diferente,
other
porque
strange
a
observations.
gente meio que
For
tinha
example,
finalizado o
why
jogo,
couldn't he see
reiniciou o
his
jogo
feet when he looked
e ele
down?
continuou com o mesmo
Why did
diálogo.
doors
Aí eu
close
falei, porra.
automatically behind him wherever
Tipo, ele
he
ficou
went?
com o
And
diálogo
for that matter,
da primeira
these
vez que a
rooms were
gente tinha
starting to
entrado
look pretty
no
familiar.
closet
Were
lá,
they simply
entendeu?
repeating?
Aquilo
No,
foi
Stanley said to
suspeito.
himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying, and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
Não dá pra sair, não dá pra
All of
sair
his
dali.
co-workers were gone.
Vai ficar
What could it
travado
mean?
lá.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ih, aqui tá diferente. Aqui tava pra colocar um código antes. Ah, tá aqui, ó. Se descer a escada, fodeu. E caralho, o escritório todo tá diferente agora. Que porra é essa? Ué.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Atrás da cadeira tinha uma xícara.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Tá dormindo?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Agora. Aqui eu consegui. Ih, mas o computador com senha não tá aqui. Ah, consegui. Ué, cadê o computador com senha? Ih, cara, atrás da cadeira.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, no, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story. I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Cara, o computador de colocar senha sumiu.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
É o que eu tô tentando fazer agora.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
É que eu acho que eu vou sair naquele outro final lá que tava tudo destruído.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Quebramos o jogo, que abalo.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Parabéns, Memento. Porra. Uma mula jogando. Olha pra onde é que foi o bagulho.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Não tava aberto não. Aqui ele tá tentando mudar o caminho, porque aqui tá sem coisa, tá vendo? Eu tô tentando ver onde é que eu saio. Aqui, ó.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Caralho. Aberto, mas já tava, né? Por onde a gente tava? Ih, não era não.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Tá nessa direção.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Já sabe. Final da confusão. As duas portas no mesmo lugar.
Hold up, what's this?
Encontre o cronograma do final da confusão. O narrador reinicia o jogo. O quinto reinício. O narrador esquece as reinicializações anteriores.
And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Oitavo reinício.
So now, according to the schedule,
cada
I
aqui
restart again.
final?
Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what
Ó,
if I don't want
devido à
to forget?
manutenção, siga até
My
chegar na
mind
sala
goes
de
blank
monitores,
simply because it's
narrador.
written here on
Primeiro
this
reinício,
thing,
segundo.
wall.
1, 2, 3,
Well,
4,
who consulted me? Why don't I get to
6,
decide?
7, 8.
Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the
Depois de
game to
muito
keep
tempo, Stanley
restarting.
morre.
I don't want to forget what's going on.
Verdade, ó.
I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Você está jogando
now
o
we just
final da
wait,
confusão
you know.
por 18
I suppose in
minutos.
some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree?
Então eu tô
I'm
em
not quite
final
sure if
no
we're in the
caso, né?
destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Porra, foi isso, velho? Caralho. O telefone tocando. Não dá pra atender.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are
Tem
listening
vários
to a
bagulho
recorded
assim na
message,
caneca.
please terminate
Quem
it immediately
peidou, eu
and
odeio
cease all flow of
segunda-feira.
information
Aqui
from the
tem o
recorded
que?
message
É,
into
Rick
your
mandei.
perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Primeiro pai. Pai número 1, na verdade, né? Primeiro pai é foda. Tá aí, ó. Boa caneca pra gente vender. Ó, o narrador morreu agora. A gente tá no foda-se. Pra fazer nosso caminho. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Pensei que o
Yet
narrador
there was
tinha
not a single
morrido.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Ele
Stanley
fechou
decided to
o
go up to his
negócio.
boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Que crime.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone,
Era
paralyzed
4,
by fear for nearly a full hour.
4, 5,
But when at
2, 8,
last he
eu acho.
began to move about and survey the situation,
4, 5,
he
2.
found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever.
Tá diferente a senha. A senha é o mesmo número.
Yet incredibly,
São os
by
mesmos
simply
4
pushing
números,
random
mas a
buttons
senha tá
on the keypad,
mudando
Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer
a ordem.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Vou fazer o que o narrador quer agora pra ver como é que vai ser. Porque apareceu muito diferente lá, né? Aí o Josimar mandou a foto da caneca dele, ó. Não tomei scam, vou cancelar a reclamação na LX. Ah lá, ó.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind
Então, por
Control
isso que eu vou seguir o que
Facility.
ele quer agora pra ver o que vai dar.
The lights rose on an enormous
Ah, a
room
gente tá
packed with
embaixo agora,
television
antes a gente tava em
screens.
cima.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Outros lugares.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do,
Aqui
or
tinha esse
how to
final lá
feel.
embaixo no primeiro que a gente
Whatever
pegou.
life he lives, it will be
No primeiro não,
his.
né? Quando a gente chegou naquela
And that
sala
was
que mostrava
all
os
he needed
finais,
to
tinha isso
know.
daqui, que era
It
tipo
was perhaps
a
the only
liberdade
thing
alguma
worth
coisa, eu não
knowing.
lembro.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
Freedom, isso.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was
Só que eu não
exactly
tô
the
controlando
way,
mais, tá indo
right
sozinho.
now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Aqui a gente realmente terminou, ó.